The kingdom of Umwoha was known far and wide for its abundance. Yams grew larger than a man's arm, palm wine flowed freely, and traders traveled long distances to bow before King Obinna, the richest ruler the land had ever known. His palace glittered with gold, coral beads lined the walls, and servants moved at the snap of his fingers. Yet as night fell and the palace drum softened, the king lay awake on his royal bed. His eyes stared into darkness. Sleep refused to come. The silence felt heavy, like unseen eyes watching him. Night after night, the king remained awake. He tried warm palm wine, soothing songs, and expensive herbs brought from distant lands. Nothing worked. His eyes grew red, his temper short. At council meetings, he shouted at elders. Servants trembled at his footsteps. The people whispered among themselves, "A king who cannot sleep cannot rule well." Slowly, peace began to leave the land. Desperate, the elders summoned the strongest diviners in the region. Cowries were cast, incense burned, the air grew tense. At last, the chief diviner spoke, "The earth is angry. The land has been wounded by injustice." The diviner warned that the king had taken what was not his land, harvests, and dignity from the weak. King Obinna laughed loudly. "I am the owner of this land," he boasted. "How can the land judge its king?" One morning, as the king prepared for court, a poor widow knelt at the palace gate. Her clothes were torn, her voice shaking. "My king," she cried, "your guards seized my farmland. It is all I have to feed my children." Annoyed, the king waved his hand. "Chase her away," he ordered. That night, his sleeplessness deepened. He heard footsteps in empty halls. He heard his name whispered by voices he could not see. At the busy market square, an old man with bent shoulders and dusty feet stood on a stone and spoke boldly. "Hear me. A king who eats alone will never sleep." The crowd gasped. Guards rushed to seize him. But when the king heard the words, something stirred inside him. He ordered the old man brought before him. Standing before the throne, the old man showed no fear. "Great king," he said, "your bed is soft, but your heart is hard. You sleep on gold, yet deny the poor their soil." He explained that true rest comes only when justice walks freely in the land. The king felt shame burn in his chest for the first time in his life. The next day, the king summoned the entire kingdom. Before the people, he stood not as a god, but as a man. "I have wronged the land and its people," he confessed. "Today, I return what I took." Lands were restored. Prisoners were freed. Royal barns were opened. The widow received her farm back, tears streaming down her face. A cleansing ritual was performed at the village square. No blood was spilled. Instead, forgiveness was offered. Elders poured libation, thanking the earth for its patience. The wind felt lighter. Even the trees seemed to listen. That night, King Obinna lay down. For the first time in many moons, his eyes closed gently. No whispers followed him. No shadows chased his thoughts. Sleep came like a blessing. At dawn, the king awoke renewed. From that day onward, he ruled with humility and justice. The story spread from generation to generation. A throne built on injustice will never know rest.